I'm Raj Kumar, President and Editor-in-Chief of Devex. We're here on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, where Devex is covering a whole range of issues, and I've stolen a couple of really exciting people for a few minutes just to hear your take on what's happening. We've got Shireen Vakil, who is the head of policy and advocacy at Tata Trust. You're based in India.
Yes.
And Bjorn Lomborg, who is, of course, the head of the Copenhagen Consensus. You are studying all over the world, really, what are the best interventions in global development, and especially focused on India of late. The two of you have partnered together, working on something called India Consensus. So I wanted to just steal you for a few minutes because the SDGs are the big topic today. I interviewed the Secretary General a few days ago, and he said urgency around SDGs, we're falling behind. And yet, when we look around the world, so much money goes into development policy related things that maybe are not aligned with where we ought to be spending the money. And that's what the two of you are really focused on in India. Tell us more about what you're working on.
So fundamentally, we are working on what are smart interventions in India. As the Secretary General and everybody else says, there's not enough money to do all the things we've promised. And remember, the SDGs are so broad, they pretty much cover everything.
Sure.
So the real issue is, where of all these great things should you be spending your money first? So we asked, and we would love to do this for all states, but at least we've started with Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh, and asking, where can you spend an extra rupee and do the very most good?
India has the CSR law. We've covered it at Devex. It was 2% of net profits of every major company have to be donated. Where does the process stand in that, and what's the opportunity if we can direct it in these areas?
No, I think it's a huge opportunity, and obviously the law was passed a couple of years ago, or even actually more than that, about 3 years ago, and it takes a little bit of time to kick in. But now people are, it's started to kick in. So I think it presents a huge opportunity. And as Bjorn was saying, it's like even within sectors. So you want to do education, you want to do health, you want to do skills, let's say, or water and sanitation. So within that, what is it? Which are the interventions which will give you, the highest impact for the amount of money that you have to spend? So whether you look at it, the fact that, or even an issue like domestic violence that came up quite high in Andhra Pradesh. And most people will not think about it in economic terms, and obviously you don't need to think about it. It is a terrible thing. It should stop. But when you actually present it, that actually as a result of domestic violence, women are losing this much of their income, and that results in this proportion of the state's GDP, and these are the interventions you can do, then you can actually push that forward.